Okay, we can go ahead and get started. How is everyone today? I am so excited because I have had so many interesting people on these last four Thursdays for interviews that it kind of became a bigger, more exciting thing here on Substack. And I had some people ask me the other day, "Oh, how do you find these things? What else is House of Haas about?" And I was like, "Oh my gosh, before I interview anybody else, I need to just take it from the top and explain what I'm doing here because there's a lot going on." And the thing I also realized is that the internet is just confusing. There's so many ways to find people and their content right now. And there are so many other people, I should say, who have done a lot of work on Instagram in the past. And we've switched over to Substack to do most of our programming for a couple of reasons. One is I think that the people who follow along here really want to be here, right? Where Instagram has become a place where just anyone can follow in and like comment anything. I've just found that my guests and customers who are here on Substack are really happy to be here and they want to engage in a meaningful way. Otherwise, they wouldn't be here in the first place. And then I think Substack's just done an incredible job of allowing content producers, anything from cooks to journalists to all kinds of creatives and people who have something to offer the world. They've done a great job allowing us to stream in easy ways, let people subscribe, right? So it really becomes our platform for how we monetize all of these things that we do. And then also housing the information for us in a way that's really compelling for you all. And that is something that I don't think anybody has any idea about what it's like here or how to use it yet. So I thought we'd kind of just go through what House of Haas is, what I offer, how to use it on Substack. And then if you're thinking about subscribing, if you just follow along right now for my blogs, but you'd like to become a paid member for $5 a month for the year or a VIP member, I'm going to explain what you get with that on top of the regular following. Does that sound good? Okay, let's take it from the top. What is House of Haas? What am I doing here in the first place? Because I do a lot online. My name is Amanda Haas. House of Haas, obviously, is like a really fun thing to have a more general term for everything that I'm doing here at home. And, 80% of my work is probably about cooking. And in particular, I'm focused on anti-inflammatory cooking and family cooking and meal planning and budgeting. So I like to think I create delicious food that just happens to be really good for you. And also because I've been exploring my own health for a long time now. So I've been on quite a journey and it's had a lot of things go on. I have become a great resource for people wanting to understand their health better, aging, hormones, all of these things. And in particular, I think women between 35 and 65, we've kind of become this group here. I would say about 85 to 90% of my followers are in that age range and are female. And we're all kind of seeking answers to the same questions, right? How we live our best lives, how we feel our best. I think a lot of it too is how to stay grounded in today's day and age with so many things coming at us. We talk some about, I was going to say, we talk about parenting, we talk about empty nesting, we talk a lot about careers and finding your own purpose, no matter what that might be at different phases in your life. And a lot of stories about redemption or second chances, I want to say. I just think that as I've aged, there are so many opportunities for me that are just becoming available. And I don't know if it's a mindset, maybe because my kids are older and I'm just making myself more available to it. But there is so much to explore outside of food. So I wanted to create a platform where we all get to really form a community to talk about things that are important to us and not just having me, blurting cooking information at you or teaching you, my favorite recipes every week. So there are still a lot of other places where I show up on the internet. One of them is my website at Amanda Haas Cooks. You can always go there for free recipes. And I send you there a lot. Like I'll link to it a lot, whether it is on Instagram or if it's from here. But on Substack now, the thing that's so cool is that they're allowing me to do all of these different things. And then when you go to my page on Substack, it's an actual website. with tabs where I show you everything I've done s- just for my Substack followers, right? And for my subscribers. So let's go through what those things are because it did just start out. I just came to Substack to blog, right? And to write about everything outside of food in my life. And then I started hearing from people that they wanted me to do more food stuff here too. So a couple days. One is that I decided to do live streaming a lot because there aren't a lot of cooks on here who live stream. They offer a lot of recipes and blogs, but I think I do best when I can show you in real time what I'm up to. So I've decided to format it that on Mondays, I do a live class that is on meal planning. And really, I need a better name for it. Just how do you get your act together on a Monday, right? Typically in my past life, I would be doing this on a Sunday, but I've just found that I'm trying to preserve my weekends for more fun and relaxation, and I'm not really ready to get into this meal planning thing. So, doing this class with you on Mondays forces me to open my refrigerator, look at my pantry, and be like, what am I doing this week? And so, I literally plan my week in real time, and then I either go to the store right before that or I go right after. And some of the continuations of classes during the week are an extension of what I was doing on that Monday. And so I've had a really good time this week. I took people through the class on Monday about what I was going to make. I did some prep for a few of those recipes that day. Hi, Elizabeth, and everybody just joining us. And then on the next day, I'll tell you about the Tuesday class. I carried a recipe over to that. And then last night I made family dinner and I carried it through that. So Mondays are just like help you get your act together. And my hope is that when I start doing this, and I'm saving all of these, you can go back and access them on my website here on Substack, that you can go use those for inspiration for your own weeks, right? So, like, I'll do a couple of these weeks, and then you can go back and watch one and be like, oh, that sounds like a good week for me. Or I want to take the recipes Amanda did here, or I'll try a couple of these this week, right? So, you don't have to do my entire week in real time with me. You can go back and be like, oh, those ideas appeal to me and do your own, right? So, that's Monday, meal planning. Tuesdays, I wanted to do something where I could show you all the tools I use in my kitchen the most and also create almost one place where you can purchase all of them if you want. So I started Tuesday with the microplane zester that I use to grate spices like nutmeg, chocolate, Parmigiano Reggiano, garlic. I use it for all kinds of things, and it's just one of my most practical tools. And so I taught you all how to use that. And then I showed you a couple recipes with it as well. I decided to make some homemade granola with it, which was so good. And then I grated some garlic into a tzatziki and I made that too. So Tuesdays are all about teaching you about my favorite tools. Sometimes it'll be a piece of cookware. Sometimes it might be a knife and I'll do a knife skills class for you. And then I link everything to ShopMy, which is another website. And that's why it gets so confusing. There are just so many places to access this information, right? But you can always come back here for the base place where I tell you, okay, now this is where you go to get that. And I'll link to my ShopMy page. And ShopMy is just a really great thing for anybody who has products that they like that they want to curate for people. So I've basically taken all of my favorite products from all of my favorite brands and put them in one place. And it looks like a little shop, right? You can shop by my most recent additions. You can shop by shelf, like by category, cookware, knives, tools, dinnerware, all those things. Bye, guys. And I will link that here, right? So if I'm talking about a product here on Substack, I will link out to that. Wednesdays, I'm still trying to land on what I want to do live on Wednesdays. I was calling them Wellness Wednesdays. That's kind of vague, right? And all of this in theory actually is wellness content to start with because everything I do is really focused on making us feel better. And so I tried a recipe of the week last night. I just wanted to share with everybody what I was making for family dinner. And I did a new recipe from my new cookbook that's coming out. So I'm open to conversations, but I do just love to teach all of you how to cook. And I think that sometimes when I just do really simple recipes, it's more about teaching you about techniques, right? That you can master more so than like mastering a specific recipe where you have to measure all the ingredients every time. So last night I taught people how to pound chicken thinly. And then we made that tzatziki to go with it. And I just tossed some arugula with olive oil and tomatoes. And I talked about how you could cook this stuff ahead and then assemble it at the last minute, right? So it was a really simple class, but a really great example of a weeknight dinner that if you learn how to butterfly and pound chicken thinly, it cooks in like 5 to 7 minutes and you have a great, easy dinner anytime, right? So open to feedback on what those Wednesday classes look like, but they're cooking. So Thursdays are my days where I just thought it would be really fun to set up an interview style format because there are so many people I've been connected with in my life that have amazing contributions that I want to share with all of you. And so it's just been a gangbusters lineup so far. I kicked it off with Dr. Jennifer Freed, the psychological astrologer, who is in such high demand. It's crazy. The fact I get to call her a friend is nuts. She is all over Goop and Pulling the Thread, those two podcasts, and is an advisor, I think, just a wise person in the world of astrology, but she's also a psychologist. And so her work is just marvelous. She's had a couple best-selling books. She has an oracle deck that I adore. She's written nonfiction. She's written fiction, I should say, a fictional love story that is super fun that ties astrology into it. She's just remarkable. And then we had Shannon Watts, the founder of Moms Demand Action, and her new bestseller, which I thought I had in here, Fired Up, about empowering us to find our spark in life. And she's incredible. She's just someone I look up to a lot. And then we had Michelle Tam of Nom Nom Paleo talking to us about how she started a business. And then last week I had Laura McCowan, who's the founder of The Luckiest Club, which is an online sobriety support group that is phenomenal. And she's written two New York Times bestsellers on her path to sobriety, which are phenomenal. So the quality of guests I'm getting are just insane. And they all are helping improve our lives in some way because their work is just has provided so much depth and meaning to my life that I'm just interested in sharing those people with you, right? So what started out as what I was joking was a pretend talk show is literally a talk show. And I'm just calling it as such, and we're going to just keep going with it. And I cannot wait to start sharing other guests with you. I mean, we're going to get into things like divorce in midlife with this incredible divorce attorney. She's amazing. And I was just introduced to her. We'll be talking a lot more about women's health. We'll be talking about food and starting different businesses, spirituality, meditation, breath work, all the things. Okay. And then Fridays are, I just was having so much fun doing something live every day. I was like, why don't we go mess around on Fridays and leave the house? And so I'm still taking suggestions for different things to do. But last week, I just went to one of my favorite restaurants and cooked with the chef there, Chef Abel Padilla at Poppy's. And it's seafood there. And they get the freshest, well, they get deliveries every single day of fresh local fish. And he just makes magic every day. And it's so simply prepared, but it's so good that I just want to share it with everybody. And so I'm going to try to do hopefully every other Friday as a cooking segment. I just need to start dialing up some of my favorite chefs and asking if they'll have me into their restaurants to film with them. And then I might do some other creative exploratory stuff. Like I want to call a friend of mine who's an incredible artist and go to her studio and just share it with all of you and see what her process is like. So just different activities. Maybe I'll try some wellness, health, exercise stuff to share with you. Maybe I'll take a dance class. But just really let you in on kind of the other things I'm doing to improve the quality of my life. And a lot of them is around seeking joy, right? And happiness and doing other things besides focusing on work and life stress. So that's kind of what I'm offering here at House of Haas. But here's the coolest part is that when you're on Substack and you sign up, just like Instagram, think of it like that way. You do not have to be posting on Substack to be here, right? All of you who are watching this probably signed up, but you don't have to create your own account to start posting. But when you go to my account, when you go to Amanda Haas, there's a website at the top with a navigational bar. And so everything that I film here or that I post, whether it's written or video, gets logged just like on a regular website. So you can go back and access it whenever you want. So I have live cooking videos, which is, everything I do around food. And then I have the pretend talk show. So anything where I'm hosting a guest on a Thursday that has nothing to do with food, or maybe they do have something to do with food. Like my friend Graham Elliott, Chef Graham Elliott, he's incredible, who is on MasterChef and has amazing restaurants. I actually want to talk to him about his health journey instead of cook. Well, I'll have him on to cook as well, but I want to have him on as a Thursday guest, right? So any conversations I'm having will be under the pretend talk show tab. And then I post recipes. I post a ton of recipes on Substack, and a lot of them are exclusive to you all who have subscribed. So you can't find them on my regular website. You might find some of them there, but I've adapted them or I've done something special for you all. And then I just have my regular blog posts because I love writing for you all here so much as well. So it's pretty straightforward. There's also a notes section so you can start a conversation with people, and I try to respond as much as possible, right? So it's just like a group chat basically for all of you who follow me. And then if you subscribe, you can also comment on a lot of things. So you can send a comment like in a conversation like this, and I can respond to it, which is fun. So there's so much. I should say that if you want to find the most about me, come to Substack, right? You can still go to my website, and I'm going to be promoting general things there. So I'll have all of the free recipes that I continue to keep up there just for people who are, might discover me online and be like, what's she about? The other thing I'm going to be using my regular website for, and Instagram and Substack, so nothing gets lost, is anything I'm doing outside of this, right? And I'm calling it kind of like a la carte experiences, but I'm hosting an online wellness retreat May 2nd, I think, if that's the Saturday, with my friend Josh Connolly from England. And so I'll be marketing that on Instagram, on my website, and here on Substack, right? So you'll be able to see what that's about. And then I'm hosting a live in-person retreat in November here in Marin County that I'm so excited about. And I'll share that with you here. I'll share it on Instagram. I'll share it on my website. But the coolest thing about coming here is that if you subscribe, you get access to all of these other experiences before anybody else, right? So if you sign up to become a paid subscriber just for the regular annual fee of $60 a year or $6 a month, if you do that this month, you'll automatically get first access to the retreat I'm offering online May 2nd. And you'll also have priority access to sign up for the retreat in November. And space is obviously very limited because we're doing it at a fabulous place in Marin that holds 50. I don't think we're going to want to go over 50 or 60 people. So it is absolutely first come, first serve for both of these things. For online, we can do some more people. I haven't decided how many, but subscribers get first access to everything. And so I email all of you first, and then I open it up to people who follow me here but are not members. And then I open it up to the rest of the world, right? To my entire mailing list. So another reason to come here. So let me explain then what it looks like if you are a member here and why you should become a member sooner than later. I'm really encouraging people to sign up by the end of March because, well, let me explain. So if you just follow me here on Substack, it's like following someone on Instagram or something else. I post notes, like kind of just free-formed thoughts, and I include you on a couple blog posts a month where I'm just, shooting from the hip and just talking about anything I feel like talking about. But so that's what you get if you're just, follower, right? You can follow. It's confusing. Okay. Then if you become a member, a couple things are going to happen. One is if you become a member, a paid member, which means you're just part of the regular $6 a month or $60 a year club, by March 31st, you will be considered one of my primary founders of this House of Haas on Substack, and I will mention you in my new cookbook. So I'm really looking to form a community here of people that, really want to contribute and learn from each other. And I think it's important to make it a big deal, right? So I'm going to be mentioning everybody by name in my new book if you join before March 31st as a member, right? And with that, you get all of my blog posts. You get all of the recipes I post. I've been posting a unique recipe about once a week, sometimes more. You get all of the live classes. So you get up to 5 live classes a week. Five classes. And one of those being the talk show, one of those being the mess around, get out of the house. And the other three having to do with cooking, right? So it's a ton of content. It's like people keep saying that's like you're giving away all these cooking shows. I want people to just think of this as like a streaming option, right? It's like Netflix or HBO Max, except it's $5 a month or $6 a month instead of 15 or 20, right? So you get all of my streaming, all of my live classes every week. It's like 200, probably 200 different live streamed classes, which you can go back and watch whenever you want. Okay. You get all of those recipes. You get my blog posts. You also get priority access to all of these things that I'm talking about, my retreats and any classes that I teach online outside of here that are like $39, $49. And I offer like some single subject classes. I'm going to do a gluten-free baking class coming up. And so you'll have first access to that, right? And then if you would like to become a founding member, which is basically like VIP, I think is what I call it, you get all of those things, but you also get for the first, I think I have to cap it at 50. And a lot of these spaces have already filled up. For the first 50 people who sign up as VIPs by the end of March, you'll actually get a signed copy of my book from me when it comes out next spring. You'll get the copies as soon as I can get my hands on them, and I will personalize the book for you. Plus, you get extra cool things like I'll be giving away a spot in our retreat in November. And so you're automatically entered. Actually, you're entered if you're a $60 subscriber or a $150 subscriber. You'll be entered to win a spot in our new retreat. But also, as a VIP member, you get invitations to parties and 2 private classes a year only for you with like celebrity chefs, incredible people, right? So it's just extra special. And that's it. So, the regular subscription gives you access to a ton of information here. And if you're wondering why if you're thinking about why you should actually join here on Substack versus any of the other places where I show up, this is the only place where I'm providing tangible content where you can really learn and then go back and watch it, right? And keep it forever. So if you see me on Instagram, I'll flip on the camera sometimes and I'm just messing around, but that's not where I'm sharing the recipe that I'm making, or I'm not taking them through the actual meal planning that week, or I might share a clip of one of the interviews I've done or one of the cooking demos I've done, but that's not where you go and you access all the information, right? So think of this, and I know a lot of people are doing it. Don Lemon, Katie Couric, Heather Cox Richardson, Shannon Watts, all of these people in the news and journalism space are just like, go to Substack. And the same thing, you might see clips of their work in other places, or they might show like an entire interview on YouTube as well. But this is where you come to get all the scoop. All right. And I'm trying to think, I am also on YouTube. People ask there. I show clips on YouTube of these classes that you all have subscribed to. So you can't go to YouTube and get everything that you're getting here. I'm just like teasing it out over there to say, come join us on Substack, right? So think of this as your home. Think of it for me as Amanda's channel. Think of it as the Amanda Haas Cooks House of Haas channel. And I still say television because I'm used to calling any screen a TV, but it's truly where you come to find everything I'm doing. And again, really my focus is on men are obviously invited, and I work with men and I interview men, and I'm doing this retreat with an incredible man. But I think that my core audience, my target audience is 35 to 65 or 70-year-old women who are just going through life, right? And so we talk a lot about all of these topics that are so important to us: perimenopause, menopause, learning how to everything. I'm thinking mental health. I'm thinking physical health and all the changes we've learned about how we should be taking care of ourselves, how food affects our bodies, especially in women hormonally, right? There's so much to dig into around our bodies and selves but I'm certainly not excluding anybody else. Everyone is always welcome. And I think my food really appeals to pretty much everybody. So that is House of Haas, and that's why I wanted to come here and chat with you today before I had any other great guests on, because I know it's confusing, but I would love it and appreciate it if you'd consider subscribing here. Again, you can just sign up. If you want to try it for a month, you could do that. It's obviously less expensive if you join for the year for $60 instead of it costing like 72, right? And to become a VIP member, that just means you're going to get an exclusive copy of my next cookbook when it comes out that's signed next year. But if you just join as a regular paying subscriber, you'll be mentioned in my new book. And so it's dedicated to all of you. And just being part of supporting this community that we're starting here on Substack. And thank you is all I have to say. I like to think, I know I'm very available to a lot of you. You know, I really do try to answer your questions on here. And if I don't respond, I've probably just missed it. Or sometimes things get, like moved into strange places. I try to respond on Instagram as well. It's a little trickier because they filter through things in a different way. But if you're a subscriber here, you can always ask me questions and you'll have access to me that way. Okay. So thank you. Unless there are any questions, people don't ask many questions on here, I've realized. We'll get there someday, right? I hope you all have a terrific day. And I just want to thank you for spending time with me because we all have so many different choices, right? And hopefully this place just becomes a refuge for you, as a place where if you tune in to me and anything that I'm doing here at House of Haas, you're going to either learn something, enjoy yourself, find some joy, and you just kind of be like, this is a good place. I want to be here and spend time with these people, right? That's what I wish for this brand and for all of you. That if you turn Amanda Haas on, we're not going to be, it's going to have meaning and value and depth. Let's just say that. It's going to make your life better, one little cooking tip at a time or one little health tip at a time, okay? We keep it real here too. So everyone have a terrific Thursday, and I hope to see you soon. Thank you. Bye.